But let's get into our top 10 movies of the year to this point, as we are kind of passed over that halfway point
Crazy.
of the year. It is weird, and also we were talking about it before we started recording. It feels like this year, in comparison to like maybe last year, we haven't had as many big hitting movies. I think at this point last year I had seen almost 70 movies. At this point now I'm at 50, so I feel like I'm slacking, but there's not a lot of other movies that I wish I would have rushed out to go see that I haven't already kind of done some cleanup work and saw retroactively in kind of just some catch-up weeks. But top 10 movies of the year so far, we'll get into those. Corey, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do 10 through 5, and then the other person does their 10 through 5, and then 5 through 1?
Yeah, let's do that.
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
You rip them with your 10 through 5.
All right. I'm gonna lie. I have, they're not honorable mentions just because they're my 11th, 12th, and 13th slot, but I wanted to give some flowers. Number 13 would be Send Help, 12 Hokum, and 11 Toy Story 5. But the nitty gritty, the top 10, which some of these movies they're gonna get bumped out inevitably by some of the other movies that we have coming later on this year, but I love these movies for their own rights. Number 10, I have Boots Riley's film I Love Boosters. What a nutty fucking crazy movie. Number 9, I have Is God Is, a great revenge film. 8, a movie that I've seen high up on a lot of people's lists. Some slight glazing, but I will acknowledge it is a phenomenal movie, and it's a really surprising, charming film. Number 8 is The Sheep Detectives. Number 7, Corey, you saw it this week, Undertone. Just a surprising, really ruthless horror film that I really enjoyed. So, love The Undertone at number 7. And then number 6, Project Hail Mary. A movie I've also seen higher and lower in other people's lists. I read the book. I love the story. The movie on a rewatch worked a lot better for me. It's still not as good as what I think it could have been, but I think for what it did for the first half of 2026, it just felt like a blockbuster everyone wanted to go rush out and see. So I love it for that regard too. So that's my 10 through 6 of I Love Boosters, Is God Is, Sheep Detectives, Undertone, Project Hail Mary.
All right. Well, I will also give sort of honorable mentions, I guess. I'll just shout out my favorite theater experience to this point is seeing Jackass Best and Last. It was just a lot of fun seeing it with some buddies. I loved that, even though it may not be on my top 10 of the year so far.
Oh, I thought it was gonna.
No, it's not. I just wanted to give it a shout out just because that was so much fun. I think I'm going to give my list of these 10 movies. Maybe still the best thing I've watched this year is Gary, that 1 hour episode of The Bear. That's just kind of a TV special, if you want to call it that. I don't know that anything has like impacted me more than that this year. So speaking of The Bear and all that stuff, I just really love that, and I loved watching Gary. So go check that out. Okay, so moving in to my 10 through 6. At number 10, I have Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. What a fun, unexpected, wacky movie that is just chaotic and just it handles the AI of everything where a lot of times it gets annoying. It handles it in a really fun way, and I really enjoyed that. Number 9, I have Project Hail Mary, movie that I am a lot lower on than most people, but can't disregard that it has so many great technical elements to it, and it's just, the score is amazing. I think that it's a very interesting story, but sometimes the script doesn't quite live up to what I think a lot of other people saw in this movie, but I still really enjoyed it. Number 8, I have Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man. That was such a fun watch through of doing all the Peaky Blinders watch. That's still one of my favorite shows of all time. The movie doesn't quite live up to anything the show ever did, but for me it was a satisfying conclusion, and a lot of the bold choices that they made have sat better with me over time of what they chose to do with characters. At number 7, I have Backrooms. This is another movie that I think we're both a bit lower on it than most people, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's my number 18 of the year, but I still would say I love that movie. Mm-hmm. Like, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's, again, I watched through all the shorts for that, and I think just so much of the movie works, and then the end, I think, is still good. It's just good in a different way. Mm-hmm. Not quite Backrooms good, but just still solid. But I just love the world of the Backrooms. And also, they just released an extended cut of it in theaters.
I was thinking about going to see that.
And I found, don't do this, go see it in theaters again, but I found it's like a 15-minute post-credits scene that they tack on at the end. And it's basically just another... it's like it takes place a week before the movie, and it's with that opening scene from the movie of like that async worker going through. It's about him and some other guys that are like going through and find the furniture store signs and stuff like that. So it's really cool. It just harkens back to like a lot of the shorts on YouTube.
I hope that when they release the A24 version of it, the physical media of it, I hope that they have that either as a special feature or just you can watch it with that version or the theatrical release, the original theatrical
But
release.
yeah, it was really cool. Go see it in theaters again if you want to check that out. And then number 6, I have Send Help. This is a movie that
I
I
knew
just
you were gonna love that
absolutely love. Just everything about this movie worked. It is Sam Raimi, I think, firing on all cylinders, and Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, some of the best weird chemistry
Oh, yeah.
between two actors in a movie I've seen all year. It is such it goes to some unexpected places I didn't really anticipate. It has the gore of the boar getting stabbed, some Sam Raimi jump scares with a skeleton.
Yeah,
it
very
has
Evil Dead jump scare.
yeah, I think it just combines everything that Sam Raimi does well into such a good movie with great characters that I just loved following. So, yeah, so again, my 10 through 6, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, Project Hail Mary, Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man, Backrooms, and Send Help.
Before I get into my 5 through 10, one of my favorite scenes I think from this year is in Send Help, and it's when she numbs him with the venom, and then you just hearing the sounds of what she potentially is doing, and you just have Dylan O'Brien just
Acting like fucking crazy.
yeah. All the performances are fantastic in that movie. I want to rewatch.
Oh,
that
I
movie.
love it
It's
so much.
Good. Moving into my 5 through 1. I know this one's going to be on your 5 through 1, not to spoil, just because we got to see this together and we both love this movie. I think we love this movie probably more than a lot of other people that I've seen talk about it, but number 5 for me is a Steven Spielberg return to form for me with Disclosure Day. It just felt like classic Spielberg, and you have John Williams in there. It just, a lot of the issues I've seen other people have, it didn't hit me that way. It worked for me, and I think the ending works great. I think the first 2 acts are fantastic, and the third act is still really, really good, to where I left very satisfied. I love Disclosure Day. Number 4, underseen movie is Exit 8. I love this movie. It's a good little chamber piece of one character, maybe 2 other secondary characters trying to work themselves out of this weird replicating situation. Very Backrooms-esque before Backrooms came out this year. I loved it. I know it's based off of a video game I know nothing of, but the movie itself was really riveting, a good thriller, a little bit of horror in there as well, so I loved Exit 8. Number 3, I have Obsession. Everyone loves Obsession. It's a great horror film. It's fantastic. Everything positive that has ever been said about this movie, I agree with 100%. There's literally no negatives I have with this movie. It's just there's 2 other movies ahead of it that hit me harder this year. Number 2, Leviticus. Only because I don't view my number 1 as a straight-up horror film, this to me would be the best horror film of the year. I think it has a great story, it has a great premise, great characters, and good stakes, where I actually cared about these people going through this horrible thing that's happening to them. And I think that they do a lot of, like, it made me think of movies like Talk to Me or Bring Her Back and stuff like that. It also takes place in Australia, so that kind of leans into it a little bit. The performances are great, the drama is fantastic, and the premise is something that just falls in line with It Follows, to kind of horror, that slow, lingering dread. Something's after you. I really loved this movie. I would definitely recommend check it out because it's a little bit underseen. Number 1, has been since I saw it, probably won't change. I know Corey doesn't love this movie. There's one negative I have with this movie, which is just an editing mishap in a barn sequence, but 28 years later, the Bone Temple is one of the most spray-painted side of a van heavy metal artwork things I've ever seen. Ray Fiennes, you deserve an Oscar for this performance of you just going fucking hellish in the woods, basically, of this Bone Temple. I love this movie. It was a surprise coming from Nia DaCosta because I haven't loved a lot of Nia DaCosta's other stuff. I've liked it, but not loved it. I think that this is maybe up there with 28 Days Later, which is one of my favorite films of all time. I love this movie. I can see in your expression that you hate that I'm saying this. This movie just, it sung for me. It worked, and I like... Yes, it does the typical, a zombie movie, or the humans bad or the zombies bad. It does handle that argument. I love the Jimmies. I think they're nutty and weird, and I think it works great. I really love this movie, and I like where it ends up and what it may lead into with the third film in this kind of revitalized 28 franchise that we got, the 28 years later franchise, I just should say. So, Bone Temple still my favorite film of 2026 to this point.
I mean, I understand that I am in the big minority as far as this movie. This is on a lot of people's top 10 so far. It just didn't work for me. I agree that I'm excited for a third movie in this kind of new trilogy. But I felt like I was being punked.
This movie felt like I was watching Metallica front row after like shoveling a gram of coke up my ass. Like, this was one of my favorite film going experiences of this year. It was so awesome.
Yeah, it is not in my top 10, spoiler alert. But my top 5 is filled with a lot of horror movies. Some things traditional horror, some things not traditional horror. Number 5, I have Hokum. I really like this movie. I think this of the summer horror movies that got released, obviously Obsession and Backrooms have been the big talkers. I think Hokum was very underseen, and I really like it. I love how this movie wrapped up. That is really what won it over for me, because I liked it a lot, and I thought there were genuinely a couple of good creepy moments. Adam Scott's great in the movie, but how it ends, I think, is just perfect for this movie, and I really do love it.
A horror movie with a legitimate, good character arc for the lead.
Yeah, 100%. And number 4, we've talked about it a lot on this episode, but Undertone. This one just, again, genuinely freaked me out. Really love the vibe of it. As two stupid podcasters, can relate to a little bit of the editing and all the bullshit
recording of this,
Yeah. At number 3, I have the drama. This is one of the biggest surprises of me for the year. I think this movie has some of the best character work, maybe the best character work I've seen in any movie this year. This is, again, not a horror movie, but there's scary elements of what these people may or may not have done or thought about doing. And I think it just dug into how you feel about somebody that you've known for a long time, and you learn something about them, and does that change your view? And should that change your view of them? I think it has some of the best themes of the year. I don't really have any issues with it. I think there's also some incredible dark humor in this movie that just fucking soars and comes in at the perfect time.
Oh my god, it's not in my top 10. It's a movie that I still really like from this year, but the scenes of Zendaya's character as a kid making tapes. Hey, you're gonna die. Just shit like that. It's so searing and it's so funny, and I love that with Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, and the drama we have. Interesting kind of films that are willing to tackle hard topics in a dark, humorous way. So I really appreciate it.
If you don't know the kind of big reveal and you haven't seen this movie yet, go watch it as blind as possible. Yeah. And number 2, you talked about it already, Disclosure Day. My favorite director of all time, coming back with an original idea with Aliens. I'm in. It was awesome. Emily Blunt gives maybe one of the best performances of the year. She's great here. I loved all of the Spielberg action. I loved the goofiness and campiness of an invisible house sequence and fire trucks. Some of the script issues, that's been a big talking point of David Koepp. A lot of them don't bother me. There's some just specific things with the device that are just kind of
MacGuffin,
I'm like, you could have cleaned that up a little bit, but I think this movie ends so well. Again, just an ending that I thought was perfect for this movie. And for what the title of this movie is, it's Disclosure Day, not the days after Disclosure Day.
It's
which
not
I've
Alien
seen.
Reckoning. We're not getting invasion in this movie.
I think what the movie set out to do, it accomplished perfectly, and I really do love it. John Williams' score is great. And then at number 1, I have Obsession. This has been the movie of the year so far. The movie people, fans, and critics alike have been talking about the most. So to just hop on that bandwagon, we were on it from the first weekend it came out. This movie's fucking awesome. It has just gotten better over time. I don't think I've thought about a movie more than Obsession this year. I just love Indy Navarrete. This is a star-making performance. She's already just blown up being at the Jackass premiere.
I saw that too. That's
so funny. I love that. I think just the themes in this movie have just hit harder for me after thinking about it more. Again, some great dark humor in there from Curry Barker, Cooper Tomlinson. I love in the movie too. So this one, I'm trying to think of how many of these I think may be on my list at the end of the year. I think maybe 2 to 3 of them could be there. Obsession will absolutely be on that list because I just love this movie so much.
Yeah, I think I'm hoping at least 4 of mine. We have a stacked latter half of this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if more get chipped off, and I have a completely different top 10 by the end of this year. But I'm mostly satisfied with what we've had, and I think I have a good mix of different genres. There is a lot of horror because I'm a big horror fan, and also those have been a lot of the best movies this year. Say what you want, or say what I want about Ralph Fiennes being fantastic and Bone Temple, or Emily Blunt giving one of her best performances in Disclosure Day. Indy Navarrete gave, I think, the performance of the year, and I don't think that's going to go away. You could make an argument for Rocky and Project Hail Mary with, was it James Ortiz who did the puppeting work and the voice of him? There are really influential and monumental performances from this year, but Indy Navarrete was just sensational. She's so great in that movie. Obsession is fantastic. I think we've had a pretty good lead up to what we have as Doomsday and Odyssey and Brand New Day and all these big heavy hitters, and also a lot of smaller, more Oscar-driven or arts-driven films that will also creep out too. I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this week you have The Invite in your top 10, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited what we have going forward, even in the upcoming weeks for 2026. And I really can't wait. I think it's been a pretty decent year so far, but I think by the end of this year it could be one of the best.
I hope so.
I hope so too.